Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's webinar dedicated to the role of Centers of Vocational Excellence in strengthening industry connections. It is my great pleasure to see such a diverse group of experts, practitioners, and policymakers gathered here today. Thank you all for taking the time to join us. We discuss this important topic. Our theme today is particularly relevant in the region of Southeast Europe, Turkey, and Israel, where these centers play a crucial role in advancing vocational education. This webinar is organized to highlight best practices, address challenges, and jointly explore opportunities for future progress. I would like to extend my special thanks to the European Training Foundation for supporting the organization of this event. Our next 2 hours, we will have the opportunity to hear from experts across various fields and gain their perspectives on the development and role of centers of vocational excellence. To start, I would like to introduce our first speaker, Cristiana Burzo from ETF, who will provide the overview of today's agenda. But before that, I would like to thank the representatives of Nikola Tesla School from Serbia, National Vet Center of Macedonia, and Gazigaten High Vocational School from Turkey for their participation. I will be moderating the discussion, and I hope we will have a fruitful exchange of ideas. Thank you, Cristiana, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Slavica, for the introductory words. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. I'm Cristiana from European Training Foundation. I'm currently coordinating the activities of the Skills Lab network of experts, under which the webinar today is organized. Before we enter the core of today's event, I just wanted to spend a few words on the network, on the Skills Lab network. As most of you know, as you're a member of this network, this platform was launched in October 2021 in order to create a platform of researchers in the field of skills demand and skills anticipation, to see together how skills are changing. Now we have reached over 400 members, and we are very proud of that. In the framework of this network, around the topic of skills demand, we organize a number of activities like joint researches, thematic webinars, peer learning, peer visits, also a live event every year. Today, the webinar is part of a regional activities that we organize within the network with a great support and initiative of our regional facilitator, in this case, Slavica, whom I thank so much for coordinating and moderating today. The focus of today will be vocational excellence in the region, and the topic has been felt as of particular interest and need for discussion by colleagues in the region. Moreover, I'm glad because this is an opportunity to connect the activities of the Skills Lab network with the activities run by the European Training Foundation in the field of vocational excellence. And this is why we have here today my colleague Jose Manuel, who I thank a lot for joining. So in order, before starting, just a brief overview of the agenda. We will start, in fact, with an introduction to the topic by my colleague Manuel. Then we will have the opportunity to hear from speakers from centers of vocational excellence in the region about their direct experience from the perspective of the schools, of the centers, on the role of the industry sector in the education planning, their experience with public-private partnerships, as well as the role the teachers have in the relations with industries to implement cooperation with the private sector. I wanted to underline that throughout these 2 hours that we will spend together, we will have the opportunity to interact with speakers. So in addition to the presentations, a lot of time will be devoted to discussions and to pose questions to speakers, and for which I encourage you to use the chat box for posting your question, or you can use the button raise your hand during the dedicated discussion. Before giving back to the floor to Slavica, I suggest that we can take a family picture. If you wish to be in, just turn on your cameras, and I kindly ask Eda to take a photo of all of us, and then we can resume. Thank you. If you're interested, if you wish, and Eda, you tell us when it's done so that we can resume. Thank you, Eda. So this is done. Without further ado, I pass back the floor to Slavica, who I thank again for her facilitation today.
Thank you, Christiana. As Christiana said, the goal of this webinar is to inspire, connect, and empower all participants for future steps in advancing vocational education in short. I will just repeat that the idea of today's webinar is also to discuss, to share the experience. So I encourage you once again to use both the chat function through the event to ask the questions for all our participants and presenters, or to use the time that we have dedicated for the question and answer sessions. I'm pretty sure that we will find a lot of interesting and attractive topics to discuss all together, as the idea of vet excellence is still developing in our region. Also, I would like to remind you that all the presentations and materials from this event will be available after the webinar. Before we begin, I would like once again to warmly welcome all the speakers and presenters, and would like all of you to enjoy today's event. Our first speaker is Jose Manuel Galvin Arribas, Senior Human Capital Development Expert. He is very much into the topic of vet excellence. He can share with us the most recent European policies and also the practice. For today's webinar, we have asked him to tell us a little bit more about the creating an effective vet ecosystem and building partnerships. So I would kindly ask Jose to share with us what he believes is the most relevant in the topic, and some hints that all our partners and participants might use to further expand and develop the excellence in the region.
Thank you, Slavica. Thank you, everybody. Good morning or good afternoon, maybe in some part. I think I'm very happy and also thankful for the invitation from Skill Lab Network that I have today the pleasure to enjoy with you, and happy also to see around the screen also nice faces and friends faces that I didn't meet for a while. And I hope you will not be bored, but because some of you also listened to me several times from years ago when we started our work. I had a presentation also that I think you can start to share. When we had to start to work years ago on vocational excellence, in particular very closely with the European Commission. I think this is important message to pass you, so we are not alone in our approaches. In the contrary, what we started to do years ago was identifying that networking is one of the key ingredients for vocational excellence, networking at all levels, internationally, which is our role from the European Training Foundation, and also from the approaches we develop in vocational excellence, and working on helping the idea and helping the concept of centers of vocational excellence. When we discussed a bit for this event today, we identified that perhaps the concept of a skills ecosystem, which is much rooted to the concept of vocational excellence, was interesting to unpackage a bit, also working in the region. And also we thought in some good friends that will be speaking and presenting their experience after my speech on how bed providers' role is being expanded to reshape a concept that is not new, which is skills ecosystems, but is very much also now, as I said, rooted into the also concept of vocational excellence and learner-centered approach, which is very important one also to unpackage for understanding vocational excellence and co-creating a skills ecosystem. So when we started in the next slide, that it is being shown, when we started to work with the European Commission years ago, we come up with the idea of setting up a network of practitioners that, of course, first focusing in our partner countries, but of course, the idea of excellence is also, and the opportunity for vocational excellence is an opportunity for better internationalization. And we, first of all, concentrated our efforts and focus on mobilizing a community of practitioners around the world that you can see here in this slide, on which from our partner countries, from European member states, and now other countries around the world, such Philippines, Bangladesh, Malaysia, Thailand, or Nepal, or Switzerland, Chile, in South America, and other partners that are not formally represented in our network, and also sub-Saharan countries, to learn together and put together to try to understand and learn each other for developing vocational excellence and the role of Center of Vocational Excellence, which is also a concept that day by day is more clear for the community, despite indeed it relies a lot in country context and capacities, etc. We will touch upon this afterwards. So our network is nowadays near 330 members that we are connected to develop the notion of vocational excellence, but also implementing the concept of COBIS, which, as I said, is a concept that for each context can mean a different thing. In the next slide, also, in what we do basically from the beginning of time, 4 years ago, we started to implement the network, is shaping the concept of holistic approach to vocational education and training upon implementing vocational excellence on 10 thematic areas, or 10 thematic, let's say, even policy areas. For example, autonomy and public-private partnership, which is at core of what I am going to show you later on, and we will discuss today also about the capacity of providers to tie education business cooperation arrangements, but it's also much about on the capacity of providers also on informing how reformulate policy frameworks for vocational schools autonomy. This is also in vocational excellence, the concept of lifelong learning implemented to the dynamics of the centers of excellence. In particular, many of our members and many of our friends and partners in the vocational schools are now very much also developing continuing vocational training or adult learning as a part of the business, which is also an extended scope of the mission of centers of excellence. Digitalization and greening as you well know, are core drivers now for the reforms in vocational education and training, and it's much also rooted into the logic of excellence, as I said, complemented by internationalization, which are three key leverage for providing responses to our users, students, and also parents and families for the choices of selecting vocational education and training as a first option, which is indeed also very much reliant on the capacity and transformation of new pedagogies and professional development. Is also very much reliant on the capacity of the vocational education training and systems, and also centers on delivering career guidance in vocational excellence. And also the issue of Industry 4.0, which is also very much reliant on the innovation, on the technology developments that also are happening in the manufacturing industry, and the capacity of centers and vocational excellence to implement also approaches that relies on entrepreneurship, not forgetting inclusiveness as a key factor that also shape the concept of vocational excellence. Around these topics, we mobilized group of COBIs in our network presented in the previous slide, on which we have been learning together for the last year around, in particular, for the topics of COBES autonomy and public-private partnership, green embed, pedagogies and professional development and digitalization of teaching and learning, career guidance, social inclusion, entrepreneurship, and education and business cooperation, and exploring the role of COBES in work-based learning. All this we tie it and is informed by a crucial self-assessment tool that we developed, which is called NSAT, which is also a crucial tool for tracking the developments and also the improvements of the centers as a kind of maturity model level to understand better and provide the centers with a quality assurance instrument to understand better how they are progressing or what are the areas that they want to improve further. The concept of the centers of excellence, and this is also now for us a particular, let's say, effort that we are investing on, is in different contexts, as I said, and in different countries, and for the European Commission and for the international partners, perhaps has different meanings. We are trying to concentrate this effort also on gathering several definitions in a report that is going to be published soon, on what does it mean, the concept of centers of excellence. So basically, our learning during this year is informing that this concept of centers of excellence is around 4 major areas. One main one, perhaps, is the notion also of centers of excellence just allocated to a provider that is a high-level performer in the countries. For example, we experienced this when we started to set up the network, on which normally in dialogue with ministries, they identify, let's say, these performers, these high quality, excellent, better school providers that, let's say, are proving better results in terms of access, enrollment indicators, and also graduates that are hired in the labor market, etc. However, also the concept of center of excellence is very much reliant on the capacity of providers to become network institutions and coordinators of other centers in their context, being regional, for example, leaders, or sectorial ones. They are also the concept of centers of excellence is also very much reliant on Erasmus Plus and the Commission vision on, let's say, proposing platform for excellence, which is a concept that is very much reliant on the COBES goals, on, let's say, provide a cooperation environment related to the concept of ecosystem, in this case, transnational ecosystems. Project from Erasmus Plus in Key Action to Vocational Excellence is very much relying also on the mobilization of the concept for shaping the concept of COBES in bed providers, research centers, municipalities, Chamber of Commerce, businesses, social partners are such, industry, sectorial organization, etc. So a wide constellation of actors that are operating also in a transnational or international level. So basically, just not to bother you more with the concept, I leave you here in the center one of the definitions that we are going to present soon, which is that COBES are network organizations emphasizing cooperation with other actors and its role on regional socioeconomic development. COBES might be providers, group of bed providers and organizations that coordinate other bed providers that in collaboration with public and private players, stakeholders, help to create regional local skills ecosystem. In the next slide, this is illustrated indeed for the fourth type of let's say, COBES that we are, let's say, learning with our network for excellence during this year, which is one single school bed provider, network institutions that we find, for example, in the cases of Spain, in country Basque, Netherlands, or Moldova, or even in Canada. We can also find clusters that are regional or sectorial, and we have today a good example from Turkey also, on which we find sectorial centers of excellence. We find in France also, or in Morocco, these kind of sectorial approaches and clusters, and also regionals in our partner countries in Armenia or North Macedonia. As I said, the platforms or COBES or ecosystems are found now in the examples provided by the Champions project granted by European Commission in Erasmus+. In the next slide, indeed, the concept of a skills ecosystem, which is, as I already mentioned, core for implementation of vocational excellence, COBES are embedded, or the formation of COBES concept are embedded into a skill ecosystem. What is a skill ecosystem in very few words? Well, in very few words, we can define it as a chain of interactions and relationships between different stakeholders, partners, and their environment for effective networking on skills development in a regional, local, and/or transnational and/or international spatial context. This is an example that for the European Training Foundation has been very inspiring our conceptualization and further work in a skills ecosystem that is in work in progress. And this is becoming for a first champion project on Erasmus Plus talent journey, on which they provide a very useful mapping of ecosystems. So they provide a tool ecosystem map, and they did it in Estonia, Finland, Italy, and Slovenia. And as you see there, I provide the example of enablers. The ecosystem map is composed by four main components that are identifying the enablers, identifying the stakeholders, the relationship, and the value network. The enable indeed are the core areas on which allows ecosystem to function. The stakeholders indeed are the main stakeholder that for each context of providers, of let's say regions, local environments, are those that should be mapped and engaged. The relationships, which are also based in formal or informal relationships, and also learners, understanding the demography of vocational education and training in the context of formation of a skill ecosystem is a very crucial issue, as it is also identifying in this interaction the value that the network will provide. This is also very important in terms of perhaps expanding this mapping, and sometimes is one of our experience, is important also jumping into market research of that in the local environments to understand also what are the projections of the futures users of our services. So the enablers of ecosystems are, let's say, focusing on learners. It must be developed by identifying who supports and funds, what are the actions and promotions should be taken, what are the professional sectors engaged, what is the education sector engaged, the knowledge exchange and research that is also needed. So the research community is very important. And also, as it is important, is also understanding and framing our action in the policy governance and regulations that are in place. So having set in mind, in the next slide, I extract for you also findings of our next report in any experience during this year, on which, with a number of interviews that we conducted, also informants identifying a checklist of main tasks needed to be integrated into skills ecosystems in form of formation and implementation of these ecosystems. So basically, this checking list is related to three major clusters of concepts, which are related to governance and funding, partnership and teaching and training, which are indeed the cluster that the European Commission also identified for implemented in Erasmus Plus vocational excellence concept and Center of Vocational Excellence. So these rely, for example, with establishing or upgrading infrastructures, accessing training equipment for work-based learning, continuing training for high-level teaching staff, expanding training opportunities from initial to continuous bed, conducting annual self-assessment, which is an important issue and crucial issue also for operating and implementing the concept of excellence, also in terms of expanding the role of quality assurance. This is also about efficient institutional management and the role of managers and staff, as well as, for example, developing international cooperation, creating employment pathways for graduates within partner companies, which is also the cases that we have, for example, in Turkey, communication and marketing, which is also a very, very crucial aspect to achieve vocational excellence and perform in skills ecosystems. As repeating the lesson, networking is crucial. In the next slide, indeed, summarizing what I am briefing you up to now. So having the COVED's best provider role for shaping ecosystem on which a COVED should, let's say, deploy entrepreneurial and inclusive governance, or also actions and training programs, skills, etc., career education, teacher and training, for example, continuous professional development, research and development activities, digital and green, VET, adult learning, partnership, innovative teaching of training and training methods, international strategies, etc. So the main constellation of factors that should be engaged in or should be targeted smartly according to the specific context of each provider on each own local context for shaping ecosystem. Indeed, it is recommended to engage also with national government agencies or bodies, or school board members and or council to bring it on board, teachers and trainers, research and development community, the civil society, parents and students, social partners, higher education institutions, regional and local governments, and also international vet centers or advisor partners, which is our case, for example, or local and international companies, employers, including small and medium enterprise. So this is more or less the big constellation of stakeholders that could compose let's say, model for engagement model for a skills ecosystem. In the next slide, in the examples that we have in our now pillar thematic initiatives in Network for Excellence, we are developing work on understanding better the green ecosystem, for example, in the initiative that we have in ENE, which is so-called Greta, greening responses to excellence through thematic actions, on which also we are trying to unpackage a bit more what is the concept of green centers of excellence for operating in ecosystem. We are moving now also to understand much more this aspect in the sectors of construction and energy efficiency. We are doing this also, and soon you will see in our publication websites the work we are developing in the entrepreneurial COVES initiative, Centers of Vocational Excellence, related to, let's say, entrepreneurial dimension, on which we develop in the first phase during the first year a concept and a conceptual framework. And as you see there, the ecosystem aspect is very much working under our attention now, and we have been developing also an ecosystem engagement tool for supporting those centers that wants to move to, let's say, entrepreneurial status. We are also unpackaging the concept of ecosystem through our initiative in digitalization, which is so-called NADG, on which also now we are working with a kind of, let's say, members that are trying to move much more on shaping digital, let's say, digital function more in depth in the centers of vocational excellence, connected to, let's say, digital ecosystems and digital skills and digital teaching and learning practices that can inform also our community. We will do also so in a second phase in the thematic of inclusion and excellence through our action also of social inclusion, sharing innovation in social inclusion, which is so-called NSCC, on which also we will, in the 9 December, so next week, we will have a discussion with our community to shape also much more in, let's say, related to employment, labor market, the function of inclusion and excellence integrated into a skills ecosystem. In the next slide, I give you also the sample of the two tools that we are now trying to work, trying to support us also to, on one hand, the NSAT I mentioned before, is the tool that we are using in NE for developing also leadership and coordination of the centers of vocational excellence that are part of our network, which are also this aspect, for example, of leadership and coordination is very much important for assessing the capacity of the centers to operate into ecosystems. And also I have the opportunity now to mention and to, let's say, advocate for the use of ISAT Cove, which is a tool that we are implementing on behalf also of the European Commission, which indeed address all the actors also and integrate the constellations of actors that I presented you before for, let's say, shaping a kind of international framework for vocational excellence and COVES. In the next slide, I want to stop and to remind, I mentioned before the important role also for engaging the industry in two key crucial aspects. So our experience from these years and also from the ETF from the last years informed very much in two concepts: is school autonomy and public-private partnerships as core drivers for shaping and implementing a skills ecosystem with the role of vocational education and training centers. I leave you here the definitions that we use it for, in particular in school autonomy and role of center of excellence. We developed a couple of studies that you can download in our website, are published, both of them, in particular to explore more how autonomy is influencing constructively the formation of public-private partnership. In the next slide, indeed, through these experiences that we conducted, we found that the main cooperation form of engaged private sector is based in public governance and funding leverage. So it's the public authorities, leadership, how they provide, let's say, the floor for leveraging funding opportunities for private engagement. We found these cases in, for example, again, in country Basque, in Finland, in France, Campus de Métiers et Qualifications, on which also in the France experience, public grants and the incentives also that open the floor to the centers via networks for generate income with integrating private actors, industries, companies, etc. Then we find in this also case the pure public-private partnership, which is, let's say, 50% public incentivization from partnership formation and 50% allocated by business and companies, which is also found the Dutch model or similar to the Dutch model, but also we find in our network, indeed in countries like centers of excellence in Morocco, Turkey, Georgia, Egypt, etc. Then we find in our network also in our experience the model of the multi-channel model on which a center of excellence or high-level best provider interacting in the ecosystem use, let's say, public funding, fees, for example, find opportunities in the market, for example, providing adult learning or continuing vocational education and training courses that also bring revenues to the center, but also delivering micro-credentials, which is also being now a part of the market of the vocational education and training, fundraising, income generation, etc. And or we find also the model of private sponsored by public, which are the model of chartered bed provider schools, which is much more in Latin America and Spain as key examples. So the main form and examples also in the industry is very much known by you, which are how private sector is also integrated in this dynamic of shaping ecosystem, which is, for example, the issue of dual bed, work-based learning, framework agreements, partnerships council, COBES participating in international projects, cooperation among teachers and companies is another form of both interaction between public and private. Anticipation of skill needs is another form on which also private sector is integrated in the dynamic of the public needs, indeed delivering training provision, and also the issue of applied research to vocational education and training, which is very much also used now for in many contexts and for many centers around the world for cooperation between the public and private sector. Just to provide you in the next slide some other examples from our centers. We find in Azerbaijan, for example, the dual bed schemes and public-private partnership models in multi-sectorial, cross-sectorial approaches. We find also bed in school companies, which is the case also in the Republic of Turkey, and I am very pleased to listen now from our colleagues, on which also, you know, in some sectors, companies are integrated in the schools. We have also found in this dynamic of shaping skills ecosystems and role of industry integrated in the funding and management of the center, which is the case, for example, in Morocco for Green in Bed in IFMERE institution, or Exit in textiles. So the Morocco colleagues has a model of delegated management. On Construct 2 in Georgia, or El Sewedi Academy in Egypt, which is also a pure PPP. Also curricula and best programs development with industry. We find in our cases in Georgia and Azerbaijan in our network. I wanted to mention also and pay tribute to our partner countries, which we are very much thankful. So with this, in the next slide, I leave you here a number of links on which you can jump to know more about us. And please don't forget that networking is crucial because we give the best of us, but also not forget that we are working for shaping together COBES, which are indeed not a one-size-fits-all model, but rather a flexible and adaptable concept that can be tailored to the specific needs, priorities, and resources of each country and sector. But it requires a lot of effort from the international national, regional, local communities, and we are here to work together with you. And I am thanking you very much for listening me. And if you have any question, I am happy to be with you in the whole session. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jose Manuel Galvin Arribas, for the very inspiring and very informative presentation about the ecosystem in the excellence for the vocational education. I'm pretty sure by my experience that sometimes this topic might sound a little bit abstract, but with all the information provided from your side and very practical examples that you have shared with us, I'm pretty sure that this topic sounds now a little bit more understandable, and knowing that among our participants today are a lot of people from the vet schools and the centers for vet excellence. They have also their own experience designing the ecosystem. But my question here would be how the smaller centers for vet excellence may compete or may establish good relationship and sustainable cooperation with, for example, global companies, knowing that not all of centers for vet excellence are in a position to have near them the big and attractive companies or the governmental institutions. So how they can compete, how they can be also in a good position to design the effective ecosystem.
Thank you,
From,
Slav.
you know,
Yes.
from some rural areas or less developed, because they all have the intention to design the place where the skills are available, where the human capital is available.
Thank you for the question, Slavica. I think before I jump in the, let's say, in the unpackaging the concept of center of excellence, so is the idea of networking in one hand. So is the role of a center that has capacity for networking with others. So this is why also the concept of COVID relies a lot on the networking and coordination capacity of a center that has the capacity to coordinate others. For example, this is happening in Moldova, as I said before, on which nominated centers in several sectors are mobilizing the others with less resources for integrating and transmitting and let's say the experience, and also serve as a hubs that can also implement the capacities, the bigger capacities on behalf of the others. This is one of the ideas also behind centers of excellence. So are institutions that have resources, and they also have to be appointed to mobilize resources to other centers. This is also happening in some sectors, which is also the notion or the concept of clusters in several sectors, in which there are big sectoral centers that also are mobilizing other actors in the sectors integrated to the leadership of the, let's say, big hub. I hope I've replied your question.
Thank you. Thank you, Jose. You have also mentioned something that might be attractive topic for our participants, the role of the European funded projects, such as Erasmus. We know that there is a specific call for excellence. Could you tell us a little bit more practical advices how they can effectively use this opportunity, but not only this call, but some other calls that might be useful for them to establish the skill ecosystem, but also to develop further their centers.
Thank you, Slavica, also for the question. Yes, indeed. So part of our, let's say, mission in Network for Excellence from the beginning of times is also mobilize this and to share practices and experiences to build, let's say, international capacities of our members, that I forgot to mention that if you are here and you want to address us, please do it. The network still is open, and our ambition is also to work more much with you in the region. So the Erasmus Plus opportunity, which is key action to vocational excellence. First of all, just to say that it's very demanding. So perhaps to be a champion, but of course the acceding countries can be also leaders of the project. Otherwise, they can participate as partners associated to the initiative of Erasmus Plus. And also can participate non-associated countries which are out of the boundaries of the European Union. It's a very demanding call, but basically it relies on the gathering for European member states plus other countries. As I said, in the concept of the Erasmus Plus project is the notion of platform for excellence, which means also that an initiator could be, for example, a regional government that also integrate a number of centers in different countries, but also a research institution in another country, or it relies also in the integrating chamber of commerce from other countries, or integrate research centers from other countries, etc., etc. So it's much more on integrating first 4 countries from the European Union with different profiles that I mentioned also in the profiles that I present to you in the list of stakeholders that can be part of the ecosystem. So this action for excellence jump immediately, let's say, without low international experience, is not what we recommend. We recommend more, for example, be part, which is also a more, let's say, friendly initiative in capacity building for vocational education and training, which is another Erasmus Plus opportunity, on which also, let's say, is less demanding. And the core of capacity building for vocational education and training projects is just partnership. And it gives the opportunity also to share and to build capacities among 4 countries also, 4 partners on the issue of vocational education and training, and interacting and learning how to interact with other countries on it. So we also recommend much more jump for the first time to capacity building rather than partnership for excellence, which is more demanded and competitive indeed.
Thank you very much. I would like to repeat what Christiana has wrote in the chat. Please ask the questions and use that opportunity that we have our colleagues from European Training Foundation together with us. This is very attractive topic, and it is not, let's say, every day that we have that opportunity to hear and to listen from the, let's say, first hand, the most recent European policies and research on such an event. So feel free to ask the question not only now, but also during the whole event. Just write the question in the chat or raise your hand and also share your experience. By my experience, I know that a lot of you have already very valuable experience that you may share with us. Yes, thank you for the greetings from Ankara. If not specific questions right now, and if you come up with a question even for this session, just feel free to write in the chat. We may continue now with our first presenter, which is the secondary school, Nikola Tesla from Serbia, from Niš, and they will share with us their experience in the topic how the industry sector may influence the education planning. In short, how they handle, how they develop the partnership with the industry sector, influencing them in designing the specific programs, the specific uh, qualifications in order to satisfy the local and the regional needs for the skills. So I invite our colleagues from the school in Niš to share with us the experience. Don't forget to ask them the questions. I'm pretty sure that they have a lot to share with us, a lot of experience, but also remember, if you have some similar experience that you believe it is valuable to share with us, please go on. So, School in Niš, the floor is yours. Can you hear us? Yeah, you can start presenting.
Hello, we hope you can hear us well. Best regards from Niš. It's a great pleasure to be with you today. And we send warm wishes and a big gratitude to be with you today. Our electrotechnical school, Nikola Tesla from Niš, and on behalf of Mr. Sokolovic, the headmaster of the school, assistant headmaster, Dan Stamenkovic, and we are happy to share some of our experiences. We are the home of almost 1,000 students, and we pride ourselves on both formal and informal education, and that is what we try to do to prepare our students not only for academic courses, but also for the real life challenges that are ahead of them in everyday life, in the life that is changing almost every second in industrial and IT sector. So we talk about formal and informal education. If we talk about formal education in electrotechnical school Nikola Tesla, then it's VET secondary school, EQF level 3, and VET secondary school at EQF level 4. And if we talk about informal education, that is our dream come true training center with certified courses that we are also going to say a few words a little bit later. And now to start with the formal education. The school provides secondary vocational education and training in field of work electrical and mechanical engineering. And in the 2024-2025 school year, the school educates students for the following educational profiles. Let's start with the IT field. Education lasts 4 years. The first profile is computer electrotechnician, who is dedicated to installing computer systems monitoring, upgrading, and maintenance, and designing a system with a microcontroller or a microcomputer. Next one is information technology electrotechnician. Also, education lasts 4 years, and he's involved in desktop applications development, web applications development, and database creation and management. Now we come to the field of mechatronics. Education lasts 4 years. The mechatronics technician is dedicated to diagnosing errors, to repairing errors, and equipment maintenance. Then electrical energy field. Education lasts 4 years. Our profile is electric energy electrotechnician, who is performing electrical works, power line construction and maintenance, electric machines supervision and maintenance, and electric drives with automatic control. Again, 4 years education, electrical energy field, and educational profile renewable energy sources electrotechnician, who is completely dedicated to participation in technical and technological preparation and control of equipment installation and renewable energy sources systems, and renewable sources. Then we come to electrical energy field. Electrician is our educational profile whose education lasts 3 years and who performs electrical installation works and industrial electrical equipment maintenance. Also, 3-year education for electrical energy field and networks and plant electrician who performs electrical installation works on lines, performs electrical installation works in power plants, and connects to the distribution networks, troubleshooting equipment on terrain and in workshops. And now we are coming to a dual system education. It is dedicated to student learning through work. A dual system education, we have profiles mechatronics technician, their education lasts 4 years, and electrician and networks and plant electrician, their education lasts 3 years. And now we come to the field of dual education. It is a part of the secondary education system in which through theoretical teaching and exercises at school and learning through work with an employer, knowledge, skills, abilities, and attitudes and competencies are acquired, improved, and built in accordance with the qualification standard and the teaching and learning curriculum. The economy's need for personnel has caused the necessity to adapt the formal education system, thus the development of dual education. This model shares the responsibility for developing the competencies of students, the school, and the company where the teaching is carried out. On the one hand, business owners reduce the costs of additional training for interns and in this way invest in the future of their company. On the other hand, the motivation for learning and the productivity of students themselves increase because after completing their education, the student can get a job in the company where they studied or start their own business because they possess the necessary level of competence. Dual education obliges all participants to be guided by the best interests of the student. And now about the implementation of dual education, the basis for adopting teaching and learning plans and programs in the qualification standard, work-based learning implementation plan and program. The work-based learning implementation plan is an integral part of the contract between the employer and the school. The work-based learning implementation plan is based on the teaching and learning plan for a specific educational profile. About rating and assessment, initial, formative, and summative, is a shared responsibility of the instructor, that is company, and the work-based learning coordinator, that is school. And now we come to the main roles of the company in achieving dual education. Participants in the development of a draft plan for enrollment in secondary schools, they are for based learning and implement a part of the curriculum that relates to learning through work with an employer, where students acquire practical knowledge and skills. It has the required number of licensed instructors in accordance with the teaching and learning curriculum. It concludes contracts with the school, dual education contract, and contracts with students, that is work-based learning contracts. It keeps records of concluded work-based learning contracts. It prepares and equips students for the world of work, participates in the final and matriculation exams to verify the competencies acquired during work-based learning. It also provides material and financial support for students. Companies in which our students learn are realized through work and the dual system of education, and they are Johnson Electric, DMV, Zumtobel, EPS, EMS, Nisus, Elmont, and Ressler Eco Industrial Special Superstructure Vehicle. Now we are coming to the field of informal education that we are also dedicated to in Electrotechnical School Nikola Tesla, that is publicly recognized organizers of adult education. It is recognized and recognition of previous learning and career guidance and counseling. The school is accredited for adult education, the status of a publicly recognized organizer of adult education, JPOA in Serbian. Pro E for the entire qualification. Training for industrial mechatronics specialist, V level of national qualifications, NOX. Electrician training, third level of national qualifications, NOX. And for adult training, we employ 13 teachers with professional competence in the field of anthropology. Trainings according to the needs of companies within these qualifications. The content of the training program is organized into modules. The implementation of individual modules is organized in companies. And in the program proficiency verification process, a representative from the company is an equal member. Our school, the school is currently in the process of accreditation for recognition of prior learning activities for training programs for which it has acquired YPOA status. The school is currently in the process of accreditation to acquire YPOA status for the activities of providing career guidance and counseling services. Based on the decision of the government of the Republic of Serbia, the school receives the status of a training center and can perform the following tasks. It realizes a part of learning through work for its own and students from other schools. It implements all forms of practical teaching for which it has appropriate equipment and resources for its own and students from other schools. It realizes professional graduation and final exams for its own and students from other schools. Electrotechnical School Nikola Tesla is also a scanning center for the southeastern part of the Republic of Serbia, where the reception and distribution of tests for final exams, as well as the scanning of tests and their distribution to test viewers, is performed. It implements a learning through work in the dual study model in higher education and realizes training and practical work for all adult education activities and provides career guidance and counseling services. And this is our dream come true. This is the training center, the conceptual solution that is going to be built near our school, as a matter of fact, in our schoolyard, we can say, and we hope that the building process is going to start next year in 2025. The projects in which the Technical School Nikola Tesla participated: Digital School European Program, Community of Digital School in Europe from 2019 to 2020. Then Project Selfie Academy of Digital Schools, School Mentor from 2021 to 2023. Dialogue on Youth Employment Initiative and Dual Education from 2019 to 2023. Deutsche Gesellschaft für internationale Zusammenarbeit, GIS, and Beyond Europe with Micro-Credentials, BEM, from 2023 to 2025. This would be briefly about our school, our website, and our email is here. We would like to thank you for your attention, and that is from our side what we had to say about our school and some of our experiences. Slavica.
Thank you very much. Talking about the programs, the education programs that you designed together with your partners, what can you tell us about the methods that you find most effective when you are identifying the needs or forecasting the skill needs in your region or together with your partners? What can you tell us about the process? How do you do this in practice? How you cooperate with your partner companies when you design the programs for the needs of your partners?
Is the most important thing here, starting from the Ministry of Education and also talking with the market and the companies. We try to find out what the market really needs, and then that way to educate and to have profiles for education. And together with our partners, we try to create educational programs based on the national curriculum, and in that way educate our students both in school and in companies where they have their lessons also. And doing they spend 2 days in a company and 3 days in school in some situations, or 3 days in company and 2 days in school. And the most important practice they get is actually in the companies.
Thank you very much. We have also here in chat the feedback from the Turkey partner, also presenter. The dual system implemented at your school appears to effectively close the gap between education and the labor market. What were the biggest challenges you faced while implementing the system, and how do you address them? Furthermore, how has this system concretely contributed to preparing students for the workforce? Yeah, it is a little bit long question, but anyway, you can find it in chat. And also you can split your answers by topic.
If that is for us, I don't know whether you can hear us well.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, we find this system really effective. And we find the results and the knowledge that our students acquire in these companies really satisfactory, both for them, for their parents, and for us. And together, the school and the companies come to, we can say, some good solutions and some good results.
Thank you. Do you have something to tell us about the challenges that you face while you are establishing cooperation, while you are working with companies, implementing any challenge that you every day face?
In the beginning, it was something new, and then there was a kind of fear because it was something new and we didn't know how it was going to work out. There were some, let's say, problems, some issues in the very beginning, but together, while cooperating with our companies, while cooperating with our teachers from school, we managed to overcome education classes, both school and companies are also very satisfied with these children. Some of them will even get a job there. We are on everyday communication with these companies, and we are really proud of our good results.
Thank you very much. I would like to invite our participants also to contribute to the discussion and to share their experience when identifying the needs of the industry sector while designing the education programs. We have, as I said, many VET providers here, so we would like to hear their experience as well, in order to make our discussion a little bit more dynamic, and also pretty sure that you have very valuable experience to share with us.
Slavica, if I can suggest, maybe we can move to the other presentations and then we keep the question and answers when we hear all the experiences, because so that we complete the presentations round as planned in the agenda, and then we go to the discussion afterwards, after we collect the different cases from the schools. Would it be feasible?
Okay, Christiana, I agree. Unfortunately, our next presenter from Macedonian Vet Center didn't achieve to connect properly, so we move to the next presentation from our Gaziantep High Vocational School from Turkey, and they will share with us the experience about the topic, the role of teachers in their relations with industries to implement centers for VET excellence, private sector cooperation, including from the perspective of continuous professional development. Before I give the word to the our participant from the Turkey, I would like to congratulate them for their success already, because knowing that they are just recently formally established, but knowing that even before the formal establishment, they had very strong experience in some areas that are considered as VET excellence. So the floor is yours to share with us your knowledge and experience and advices.
Thanks for your nice words, Lavicia. We have known about you for the beginning of METEC 3. And first of all, very thankful to be here for your meaningful and a special organization and occasion, because we are here to be part of you. And inspiring, yes, we admit it, is very crucial to be more and more internationally with national roots. So this is a platform for us, very meaningful. Thank you. And moreover, good morning for some part of the world, good evening for the other parts of the world because of the time changes. And first of all, we would like to say about institution and organization. Many of you now in online meeting us, but we would like to say more about this. We are Gazi Sectoral Center of Excellence, and we have founded as a result of the project METEC 3. And now in this online meeting, there are many other teammates from the other cities for this project, like Kocaeli, I saw. And thanks for your participation on the other hand, Erkin Hocam. And on the other hand, we can say that Gazi Sectoral Center of Excellence has founded brandly new on the first day of July in 2024. So we cannot mention about a strict and the definite experience working plan, but we are eager to make up a strict and a very vivid working plan. How? With ENE. ENE is crucial for us to make the roots of the working plan of Gazi Sectoral Center of Excellence on international access. We have many national and international activities and workshops. So we would like to add ENE to this. And our team is the founder team, and we are aware of the importance of the sectoral centers all over the world, all over the country, and also the our center in Ankara. The sectoral centers, as a result of METEC 3, are 15, and just 3 of them are in Ankara. But the Gazi and the personal staff of Gazi is very well known to the ministry, to the City Directorate of National Education, and on the other hand, the vocational education pool. So we would like to make a plan from the beginning. So this is an advantage for us to be here with the access and with the pros and with the advantages of the international standards and modernization systems. So our vision is to be a center with the gatherings of international and national standards on vocational education, and to offer a sustainable and integrated methodology to vocational education, both for the teachers and the students. And for all the stakeholders, on the other hand, the term stakeholders is belong to the co-mission. Our mission is to participate all the stakeholders. So we know our crucial role as a bridge between the municipality, between the ministry, between the sector, between the firms, between the other Gaza sectoral centers and the schools. So we are, this is a threshold for us, in fact. And on the other hand, this is our founding team. We are 5 of us. One of us is a general coordinator. The others are the professional development coordinator. And each of us has different roles in the group. And our goals as institution, there are 3 goals generally. So the first one is collaboration with the industry. So, you know, vocational education is belong to the gifted students or gifted labor work. So to provide students, make them closer to the daily life or innovative industry integrated education opportunities by collaborating with the pioneers or the in representatives of the stakeholders. And the second one, to contribute and be part of international and national projects. So we know that national and international projects fosters the standardization and the modernization in education. So we would like to evoke all the roots domestically and internationally. So this is a very crucial goal for us. And the other one, to carry out some important activities, not just in the Ankara region, on the other hand, nationally, to have a conscious about the vocational education with innovative ways, and some protocols, some competitions. These are our some of the basis activities that we would like to carry out during the sectoral center experiences process. And our purpose generally, according to the framework of the Sectoral Excellence Centers Directive of the General Directorate of Vocational and Technical Education, dated the 13th of April 2020 and numbered on the slide like this. We have generally for purpose, we would like to collaborate with the industry and the social partners to be ongoing development and sustainable vocational education system in terms of information technology and railway systems. Our Center of Excellence is based on 2 kinds of main domain. These are information technology and the other one, railway systems. And we are directly belonging to and responsible to the ministry. We are directly responsible for them. And but although we are workers of the ministry, because of some feasibility problems, on the other hand, to be a part of both bureaucracy and on the other hand, more than bureaucracy, to be, because vocational education and what we would like to do is in dynamic process. We have 2 legs, both in bureaucracy and the other one none of bureaucracy. So we are founded in Gazi Vocational and Technical High School. So we are, on the other hand, responsible for the principal of this high school. He is Mehmet Boz, and we have now we have the same idea and the point of view about the information technology, and on the other hand, railway system specifically. So we have the same point of view. We would like to broaden our horizon in terms of vocational education with innovative and integrated ways. So Center of Excellence Vocational Education, we have some specific areas to work with. One of the specific area is the role of industry educational planning. First of all, to make sustainable something in education, and when it comes to vocational education, it is totally based on human resource and labor work. So to get the idea and have an idea about the needs of developing and changing world, we are always very crucial about and with problem solving manners, we are always questioning the needs of the world. So we would like to make our students and teachers as a center of excellence, and from now on and before with the activities up to now, have them a chance to uprise their creativity and according to the needs of the world. So to do that, we have some protocols for the following activities. And we have planned some courses, in-service trainings and seminars, and on the other hand, some Erasmus projects. Up to now, we have 4 in-service trainings, and these in-service trainings are with very leading organization in their own sector. The first one is Turkish State Railway, and on the other hand, the Check-in Information Technology, and the other one, Istanbul Technopark Vocational, and the others the same, and they are all based on inquiry-based applications with research. So we have planned them under the umbrella of this pioneer institution in their own sector. And the second purpose is to grow qualified workforce and sectoral collaboration. So the main problem, like the other countries in Turkey, is gifted labor work. So we would like to compensate this with internship and practical training, both for students and teachers, with protocols and collaborations and some forums and panels. We would like to make this gap smaller. Internship and applied training is some on railway systems and information technology, and students who continue their education and training activities during their formal education process. On the other hand, they are going to the applied training and internship within the scope of formal education. This is 3-day practical business skills. And on the other hand, when it comes to the protocols, I would like you to have a look at the slide for the protocols that we have signed until now, up to now. The top cooperation protocol, the other Turkish Tractor Corporation protocol, Turkish Railway State Protocol, Serdar Plastic. As I have mentioned before, these institutions are the leading institutions in their own sectors. And the other activity that we would like to carry out our projects to broaden the horizon in terms of vocational education, we have forums and panels. And on the other hand, the third purpose is technological and infrastructure support. We would like to give some technical support from the leading firms and from the sector like Check-in Oblishim, which provides services in the fields of artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and cryptography in the field of information technology. That is one of our roots vocationally in our own center. And the Turkish State Railway, Bozankaya, TMS, and the CRRC in the field of railway systems and the other main domain in our center, it continues to expand its cooperation network. And on the other hand, we would like to strengthen the vocational training of our students and provide the sector with a qualified workforce with these activities like protocols. And we are gathering the sector representatives to have a conscious and to have a, meaningful matches between the sector and the school. On the other hand, contribution to local and regional development. So we have some visits and cooperations to Ankara, Eskişehir, and Sivas for railway system sector. The railway system sector are very strong in this region in Turkey. So we have cooperations and connections with these cities. And on the other hand, to be strong competitiveness as an institution, as a country, or sometimes as a human being. Increasing international competitiveness is very important, and the vocational education is the milestone in education and in countries' development in this way. So by responding to various Erasmus grant technical calls, so you know, Erasmus grant technicals, not just the international funds, but also the national funds, sometimes they can gather without mobility. So by responding many Erasmus grant technical calls, we would like to have a consciousness about and aware the consciousness of vocational education with the standardization and the modernization of international access. And on the other hand, when it comes to public-private partnership and institutional independence, these all institutions are responsible for the state, the Ministry of National Education. So, and their funds are coming from the ministry, and they are always checked by the representatives and the responsibles of the principal. And sorry. And on the other hand, when we talk about the curriculum of the vocational education, it is some kind of flexible. Not so much flexible, some kind of flexible, but of course you can add it out of classroom activities or lifelong learning activities with an open-minded manner. Of course you can do that, but we have in fact not so much flexible curriculum. Schools, to a certain degree, they can add or extend something. We have talked about the financial autonomy. They are always budget control. So partnerships and collaborations, until now, we have prepared more than 10 active protocols with important industrial stakeholders. As I have said before, primarily Turkish Railway State, İMDER, İSTER, and Top Etu. These protocols have strategic importance in terms of planning and implementing trainings for industrial workforce needs. We know that the first step of these sectoral centers as a result of METEC 3 is just based on, just for now, this is valid, to preparing and planning in-service trainings, but we know and want more than in-service trainings for our further and following weeks and working plan. And on the other hand, the role of teachers in co and industry collaboration. Teachers in Turkey, both in not just in vocational education, but the other fields of education, are very eager to transfer their professional knowledge and skills. But generally, when you look at the vocational teachers, they ensure that the theory and the theoretical knowledge they want students to learn at school, but then they would like them to apply in their practically in their enterprises. This is a combination, in fact. In Turkey, there is no dual teaching in vocational, but we would like to have them hand in hand, and also in 1 week, we would like them some theory, some practical, gather them in a meaningful way. And on the other hand, while doing this is education is more than theory, more than applying something into practice. Education is more than this. So we know that as Turks. So guidance and supervision facilities is, on the other hand, very important for us, and we take into account this in a crucial state and manner as a Gazi Sectoral Center of Excellence. So we monitor, track our students and give them feedback always for their efforts, for their achieves, for their effective attitudes in their enterprise. And whenever arises a problem, our guidance service there to solve the problem quickly and briefly. So generally, teachers are very careful and vivid about their relation to their own students. Because vocational teachers knows that they are as a bridge while preparing students for their business life during their tailoring skill training process in businesses. This is their, for students, a threshold for them to, for their following years, to be a good pioneer in their own sector, on the other hand. So improving quality in vocational education, we know that this is based on meeting the needs of companies and the world and the changing world in the business world by ensuring the active participation of businesses in the education process. So this is an ongoing process. We know this. So this is just for our 1-year plan, and I have just mentioned about 4 months work plan. This is the end of my session. Thanks for your participation.
Thank you very much. So now it is the time for your question, for the discussion about the topics that we have heard. And also, I invite you to tell us more a bit about your specific experience in the excellence in vocational education.
Thank you so much. And maybe for our other teammates can share their experiences about vocational education experiences for 4 months, sectoral center METEC 3 experiences period, or before it, because they are professional teachers in vocational education. Ali Hocam or the others, Mehmet Hocam, Ömer Hocam, Ayşe Hocam, we are as a team, we are working as a team. Maybe they can share something about their experiences about the vocational education trainings on their own life. But I can say that, you know, in Turkey, there's a leading institution, Koç family, and they have a motto in Turkey: vocational education is a life issue. This is a country issue. I totally admit that. Vocational education is a life and country issue if you would like to be the developers of the new world.
Thank you. Yes, we kindly invite colleagues from the center in Turkey, other colleagues from center, to share their experience so far being part of the sectoral center for the VET excellence.
Why not? Yes, maybe. They are here in this meeting now and online.
Yes, please.
Sözü size bırakıyor ya da diğer milletvekilcilere bir şey paylaşmak istiyorlar.
Hi, Slavica. Thank you, Seçil teacher, for that nice presentation.
Thank you, Tuba.
Slavica, if you don't mind, I want to speak. Okay.
Yes, please. Also, if you need help with translation, I'm pretty sure that colleagues might help with Turkish.
Just
Just feel free. Yes.
Slavica, it's a great pleasure to have met you through the METEC 3 project. And I am happy to see you again on this platform, ETF platform.
You too, Tuba.
We found at the last minute the meeting link, so I couldn't send a presentation. Sorry for that. But I see the institution we previously met via mail. The institution name is Nikola Tesla Vocational High School. So I am so happy to see Nikola Tesla Vocational High School in this platform also. They accepted, they agreed to collaborate with us. So I think this is a great opportunity for us to get to know each other on this ETF platform. And if you don't mind, I want to introduce our center with a few words. Our center name is Cezeri Green Technology Vocational Technical Anatolian High School Center of Vocational Excellence. And our center is responsible for the professional development of teachers, providing education in the field of renewable energy and electronical all over the Turkey. And additionally, our center is tasked with developing content materials aligned with the educational curricula with the sectorial needs. And also our center responsible for developing national and international projects. Lastly, finally, we are excited about new projects and partnerships. Thank you for providing opportunity to introduce our center on this platform. Thank you, our COVE partners also. Happy to see you again on this platform.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your nice words. And yes, the world is so small. So especially when we work in one area, such wet education, so we cooperate, we collaborate all the time, and you never know when you will meet some of your partners and colleagues.
Yes. Hello, I want to say something. Slavica.
Yes, please,
sorry.
please
Thank you.
go on.
So sorry, I am Ayşe. I'm a general coordinator in Gazi COE, and it's an honor for us to be here. It was great for us to be included in the promotion of our institution. And thank you again. And I think we have created a good team as Gazi COE, and we have only been together for 4 months. We can say that we are just getting started. And thank you from our teams, and thank you, Ms. Setchel, for the great presentation. And I'm saying again, so sorry, I am another training, and I am enjoying just a listener. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate very much that you have dedicated the time for this webinar today. And also, we hope that the time spent with us was fruitful and that you had something that might be further applicable to your institution. I would have a question for Sechel or some colleagues from the school in Serbia, but also from for anyone here about the importance of the teacher training or professional continuous training of teachers, especially for vet-related subjects in the industry. And your opinion about how beneficial is for the Center for Vet Excellence to have the access for the industry-based teacher training.
So in a week, in our formal education, our teachers are very integrated with the students and the curriculum and the, on the other hand, the industry. So they have a broad mind, in fact, and to make it better, they are always connection with other stakeholders. And in their in-service trainings, they are getting more and more and to share and get across themselves in the combination with the theory and practice in this way somehow, because they are always in sector, they are always in industry, they are always in hand with the students in their own lessons, and also very close track to students in their practical lessons with collaboration in a lifelong learning process, both in like in the dual, we have no dual education, but like in the dual education in Europe.
And also in the field of teacher education, we are organizing sectorial visits and meetings and training content programs, professional development programs, and we are strengthening the programs with the projects. Have you heard me, Slavica?
Yes, of course.
I think they have heard, yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much for your answer. Anyone would like to add something or to ask additional question to this topic or any other topic that we have elaborated today?
And also our teachers can be a role model for their own students with the integration statute of the theory and practice, and with their tracking and advisory services. Also, they are like as a role model.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And I would like to say one more thing. As a center of excellences, and on the other hand, for a 1 year, also each discipline and each branch on their own field are preparing reports to represent and present to the ministry. So we have for our sectoral center, maybe you know, we have weekly plans, and on the other hand, for our ongoing processes, reports are presented to the ministry, whether it is attained as a minister personnel or not, it is not important. Each school and each teacher has a right to write a report as a branch for their own fields on the other hand. So ministry are also tracking the processes about all kinds of education, especially vocational education.
Thank you. Yes, indeed, it is very important. The support from the national institutions and the support from the ministries of education, but not only Ministry of Education, knowing the nature of the vocational education, it is also important all line ministries that are connected with such a sector to be involved as much as possible in order to make the strong connections, as we said, the full ecosystem, which also might include the institutions. Any other comments from our participants or any specific question that we didn't cover properly and you would like us to provide additional advices, additional experience, and a comment? Please feel free to add anything that you believe it is important to tell at the end of this webinar. If not,
Sure.
Yes, Aisha, please go on if you would like to say something.
No, thanks. Just I want to say I agree you. We have to do something. Oh, hesitate.
Thank you. Thank you, Aisha. So we are approaching the end of this, I may say, successful event, having the opportunity to hear from our colleagues from the European Training Foundation the most recent policies and very valuable concrete examples about the excellence in vet education. Also, we had the opportunity to hear from two very representative vet institutions from the region about their experiences. And this was a very good balance between the institution from Turkey that is focusing teacher professional development, but also covering all other excellence areas, if you wish, and also the other institution from Serbia that have very valuable and long-term experience implementing the formal and informal, but we hear also that they are now going in the area of validation of non-formal and informal learning, and are further growing as a regional center for skills development. Thank you all for being with us today with this great event. I'm very happy that we were all together to listen each other. Before we close the event, and I give the floor again to Christiana for the last goodbye from our network, I would like at the end to highlight our Skills Lab network and the benefits that you and your institution might have joining us. We are regularly organizing different events, different webinars, but also peer learning sessions. And we regularly invite speakers from the European Union, but also from the region to talk about the topics that might be of importance also for your institutions. What we also do is from time to time, we have the opportunity to present very practical tools that you may even apply to enhance the work of your centers and schools. But those tools, several times, for example, we had the events to present the forecasting tools, the tools to identify the skill needs, and those tools are also applicable at the national level on a systematically to be systematically employed. Also, what might be the benefit for the different institutions? Our network enable not only, but also with other partners that we have talked about at the beginning of this event, with some research institutes, with companies, with state agencies. And we do not organize the event specifically for one region, although it is the main target. We have the four different regions that our network covers. So you are very much welcome to join our events and use the opportunity to establish cooperation with the other regions as well. And at the end, invite you to initiate to us as regional facilitators any topic that you find might be important to elaborate, to discuss about. And we are always prepared and ready and willing to invite the most competent speakers and to provide you with the most comprehensive presentations in order to satisfy the expressed needs. Once again, thank you very much. I leave the floor for the final words to Christiana, and I hope we will soon see each other for the next event organized by our network. The floor is yours, Christiana, for the last few words.
Many thanks, Slavica. Many thanks to all the colleagues who have stayed with us until the very end of the webinar. And special thanks to the speakers today, the school from Niš, the school from Ankara, of course, my colleague Manuel, for all the knowledge which has been shared, of course, extremely relevant for our network. We have seen that the centers of vocational excellence play clearly a key role in understanding what skills are needed for the future, and that interaction with industry is crucial. The key takeaway from my side from today, and I would like to mention, and which also emerged from the different presentations we heard, is clearly that interactions and networking are key ingredients for establishing very well functioning skills ecosystems. This is a takeaway from my side. I thank participants for being with us. I thank Slavica for keeping us on track, for moderating the discussion. Of course, my colleague Manuel. Last but not least, Eda from ETF Contractor Fondazione Brodolini for supporting in the webinar organization. As I had mentioned in the chat, from our side, we will make all the materials from today available in ETF Open Space. I have put the link in the chat box, but you will receive a message when all the materials will be available on Open Space with the link. Thank you very much again for your attendance today, and we will be in touch soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very
See you
much.
soon.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Thank
See
you.
you soon.
Goodbye.
Bye. Bye.